Well, greetings everybody who has joined the room. We try to get Facebook Live on right now. We have no problem there. But we can start with our conversation with Kok Seng from Singapore. Kok Seng, you have any question?
Good evening, Ajahn. I was just thinking what question to ask. And then I was thinking perhaps I may want to ask this question, and that is my usual meditation practice. I will count from 1 to 10 and then after that repeat 1 to 10 again. And I've been doing this for more than 30 years. And I recall that Ajahn, you have mentioned about trying not to count in one of the Q&A. So I'm just thinking, but I was trying to just note the breath, but I find it's very difficult because after that I find my mind get distracted easily. So I will revert back to counting 1 to 10 and then after that back to 1 to 10 again. So just want to hear some advice from Ajahn. So do I continue doing it, or should I just try to stop counting and then try to just note the in and out from the nostril or from the abdomen?
Well, if you have to count to concentrate your mind, then go ahead. But eventually you want to stop and just merely watching your breath. That's the way that will bring your mind to become calm and still. If you still keep counting, it might not get there. But when you start and you find that your mind is restless or agitated, not concentrated, then if you use counting to help bring your mind back to the breath, and once you can watch the breath, then I think you should stop counting. But you can count as long as you like. It depends on how you feel. Until you become confident that you have strong enough mindfulness not to count, and you can just keep watching your breath, then you don't need to count. So it's up to you. You have to test it, try it, see which way works for you. But ideally, eventually, we want to come to anapanasati, just merely watching the breath coming in and going out at the tip of the nose. But if you cannot do that yet, if you need to count, you need to chant, that's okay. Okay?
Okay, I'll try doing that.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
Next is Willie from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn. Today I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, Carl Phai Lim from Malaysia.
Yes, good day to you, Ajahn. Yeah, today I have questions regards to dukkha, suffering. So, if something that have happened before, like a kind of suffering, but it repeats again, and if I think that it's impermanent, anicca, will that be considered the same dukkha, or that is no longer a dukkha, even though something like a hand pain or any kind of unsatisfactory kind of suffering? Previously, yes, it was suffering, but I treat it like it's impermanent, like anicca. Is that considered as suffering as well, the same kind of suffering?
Well, we have two types of suffering, really. The suffering that is natural,
okay,
and the suffering that is created by your defilement, your cravings. So you have to identify which is which.
all right.
If your body have ache and pain, this is considered natural suffering. But if your mind feel bad about it, then this is unnatural suffering, because you don't have to feel bad about it.
All right.
You feel bad because you don't want it, you don't like it. You have the desire to get rid of it, and you cannot. So you feel bad. So you have to to be able to identify and deal with
Yeah.
the,
And when
the natural suffering. You cannot do anything about it.
Right.
They are like the sun and the rain. You just have to learn to live with it, the natural suffering.
Right.
But you can get rid of your defiled suffering, the defiled created suffering, the desire.
Yeah.
When you get sick, you feel bad. You don't like it. You don't want it. That's the problem that you can solve. You just have to teach your mind not to dislike the sickness,
Right.
because it's part of the natural world. It's part of the world that we live in, the
Right.
body. And the way to deal with it is just to accept it, and don't try to what you call neglect, not neglect, but deny. Don't try to deny. Don't try to have this desire. Oh, I don't want it.
Right.
You got it, so you just have to learn to live with it.
Right.
By not reacting to it emotionally.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I got
But
it.
the way to solve the defiled suffering is to teach the mind that you cannot get rid of the natural suffering.
Yeah.
You have to accept it. It's not. It comes and goes. It's like you say, it's anicca.
Yeah.
It's here now, but it will go away sooner or later, and it will come back again.
Yes.
Just learn this. You can teach the mind that this natural suffering is anicca, and it's anatta, natural. It's not man-made. It's not created by anybody. It's caused by it's created by causes. There are some causes that cause it to appear, like virus. Once you contact the virus into your body, then this sickness arises, this illness arises. And when you can get rid of your virus, then the sickness will disappear.
Right.
So this is something you have to teach your mind about this anicca and anatta nature of the natural suffering. So you don't want to create the unnatural suffering that is created by your cravings, craving for being or not being, for not being sick. You have this craving for not being sick. So you have to stop this craving by accepting that sickness is natural.
Right.
They come and go. When it's time for them to appear, they appear. And when it's time for them to disappear, they disappear.
Yes.
But you can live with them, whether when they appear or when they disappear. The mind can rise above them.
Yes.
With wisdom and with samadhi or mindfulness. Mindfulness is there to stop the mind from reacting. Wisdom is teaching the mind not to deny the natural suffering.
All right. Yeah.
Got it?
Got it. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Anuraji from New Zealand. Are you still under lockdown?
Hi, Tangaja. Yes, we are still under lockdown. So
You're getting more cases?
Yeah, now we have, within a week, we have 150 cases. Yeah. So
at least you start lockdown right away, so it might not spread too far.
Yeah. We don't have here in South Thailand. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't have any questions, Tangaja. I'm happy to listen in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
in Thailand, we have a good sign. The infection is now coming down.
Right.
Used to be over 20,000 a day. Today it's about 17,000.
Okay, that's
so
good. Yeah.
I hope the trend keeps continuing.
Yeah. I've been following Bangkok Post news. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, Claudia. Why do you put your name as Klaus? Is this your nickname?
Good afternoon from Germany, Tanajan. I have no idea how this name made it to the system, so we have to change it. It was made by Zoom, not by me, because
I see.
I'm not happy about that name.
Go to the profile. Go to the profile and change your name there.
Yeah, I will try.
Okay.
I will try. Yeah, so I don't have any questions today except how can I change my name to my regular name again?
Yes, I think you have to go to the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner with your profile there and click, and then you can change your name there, I think.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. I will try it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, Gek Nyen So from Penang.
Good evening, Ajahn. Yeah, no question today.
Okay. Then let me go to Rusli from Medan or from Indonesia, not Medan, but somewhere near Jakarta, I think.
Correct, Ajahn. No question for now, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Adeline and Philip from KL, Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Good evening, Dhamma.
No questions at the moment. Maybe later.
Okay. Forest Tom from Massachusetts. How's the weather there? Did you have the storm also?
Yeah, we did. There was a hurricane, but it went more towards western Massachusetts, so we just got some downpour for a couple days.
No flooding. No flooding.
Little bit of flooding, but not in the streets or anything.
Good.
Yeah.
Any question today?
Well, not really a question, but I'm still trying to stop my mind from thinking about other people all the time. During sitting meditation, if I kind of make a promise to focus on the breath, then by the end I can stop the thinking, but during the day it's pretty hard. But
well, during the day you should focus on something else, something easier, like your action. You should focus on what you do.
Okay.
Because the breath is very hard to watch when you're moving around, when you do things.
Okay. Yeah, during the day I was trying to use Bhutto, but I might also try looking at what I do because I haven't done that very much. Also, in 2 weeks, I'm going to stay at a monastery for a month. So hopefully secluding myself a little bit will help stop thinking about other people all the time.
The monastery is now open for visitor?
Yeah, for vaccinated visitors.
Vaccinated, okay. Where in Massachusetts?
Well, I'm going to stay for a month at one in California and then for a month in one in New Hampshire. So,
the one in California is in what? Abhijato?
No, it's Boulder Creek, California in South Bay. There's 2 nuns there. But related to Abhayagiri, they part of the same lineage.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Hope you find something you look for. Peace.
Yeah.
Control of your mind. So you can control. One thing you can control is your mind. Other things you cannot control. Control with mindfulness and with vipassana or insight or wisdom. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. And your mind can become calm and peaceful. Okay. So no question today, all right?
No, thank you.
Let me go to Gary from Singapore. Gary?
Good evening, Tanajan. There's no questions for now. Thank you.
Okay. There's still no Facebook Live. Are you trying to fix it? Or I'm not updating. Okay.
We are live now for 46 people.
Oh, it's live now. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
I think today we have some problem with the Facebook since this afternoon also.
Yeah, something went wrong.
Yeah, something went wrong with Facebook today.
Okay. Well, let me go to that. Gary, did we come to you yet? Gary from Singapore. Gary, sorry.
ท่านอาจารย์ there's no questions for now.
Okay. Darren, also from Singapore.
Hi, Ajahn. I have no question today as well. Sitting in for the Zoom. Thank you.
All right. Alvin Lee from KL. Did you send something to the monastery? Someone told me, Alvin. Maybe someone from Malaysia.
Oh, this lotus seeds, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. With Bante Kovido and another five, yes.
You met Bante Kovido?
No, I've never met Bante Kovido.
I see, okay.
Yeah, but he is now in London. He has gone back to England.
Yes.
Yes.
He used to live here with us for a couple of years.
I think he said 4 years or something.
4 years, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, but I've never met him before because of all this lockdown. So hopefully one of these days when he comes back, I'll go and see him. Yeah. I've got no question today, Tanajan. Maybe later.
All right. Then let me go to Sri and check from Vancouver. Any question from you?
Greeting Ajahn.
Hello, Ajahn.
Tan Ajahn.
Okay, Tan Ajahn, my question is during the meditation, when we try to use sati, like mindfulness, and focus on our breath, actually we are trying to bring up our knowing mind.
We're actually trying to stop thinking.
Okay.
When you stop thinking, then your knowing mind will appear. Because the knowing mind is being blocked by the thinking, the thoughts. You only see the thoughts, you never see the knowing mind.
Oh, okay.
So when you stop the thought, then what is left is just the knowing mind. Like the monitor screen. When you turn off the monitor, then the images on the screen will disappear, right?
Yes.
Then what is left is just the monitor, the screen, blank screen. Same way with the mind. The mind is like a monitor, TV screen. When you turn on the TV, then you see all the pictures and the sounds, right, coming.
Yeah.
So you never see the monitor, you never see the screen. Only after you turn off the TV, then when the images disappear, then what is left is the screen, is the monitor, the screen. Same way the mind is like a monitor, a screen, TV screen, with the images always showing all the time because you never turn it off. Your mind is a constant on TV,
Yeah.
Always have something to think about this, about that. Even when you dream, when you sleep, you still dream, you still create. So you use mindfulness to stop, to reduce, and eventually stop the thoughts from coming up. When the thoughts stop coming up, then blank, emptiness appear in the screen. And then you see the emptiness, and the one who knows. The one who knows see the emptiness.
So sometimes during the meditation, like it's just a brief moment. Like if you stop, then sometimes you see the breath differently. You kind of like know the breath differently. It's only a brief moment.
Okay, so you have to use mindfulness and to meditate until the mind becomes calm, becomes still without thoughts, and you experience a different thing. it's hard to describe really. You have to do it and see it for yourself. Because there are many things that you can all experience. So contentment, happiness, bliss, sometimes called equanimity. That's what happens when the mind becomes still, when it stops thinking. So try to develop mindfulness as much as possible.
Okay.
When you're not sitting, and when you sit, then focus on your breath, or Bhutto, whichever method works for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Tanaja.
Is that all?
Yes.
Check.
That's
Do you
all.
have any question? Check.
Ajahn, can I clarify something that I heard from your talk? Somebody asked you that if they don't kill the animal, but his job is to take out the organs. I don't know why that you I think you still feel that it's not the right livelihood, but I'm kind of confused because I think if the person didn't kill the animal, but I think you say something.
You're supporting other people to kill this animal for you.
Oh.
Like you raise chicken, you have a chicken farm, but you don't kill them. But then you sell to the vendor who comes and buy the chicken from you to kill so that they can sell in the marketplace. So you contribute to the killing of the chicken or the animals. But it's not considered to be bad karma. It's just bad livelihood.
Oh. It's not the same, Ajahn. Like not bad karma, but not a good livelihood. Like it's
not a good livelihood for Buddhists.
Oh.
For people who doesn't like to kill.
Yeah.
To support killing.
But not bad.
Not considered bad karma. Not breaking the precepts. You don't kill. You know. So it has no effect on your mind as far as after you die, whether you have to go to be born in the animal realms or not. No, you don't. This doesn't affect. Livelihood doesn't affect.
Oh.
It's just something that we want to avoid doing.
But more advisable to not, as a Buddhist, it's advisable that we don't support.
Encourage, foster. The kind of action that will kill. See, then both the kill and the person and the things being killed will suffer. Both the killer suffer because his mind will have to pay his bad karma, and the ones that are being killed also suffer. So it's not good to support this type of activity. Besides this, there are other livelihood that you should avoid, like opening up a liquor store, for instance, selling liquor. People drink and they get drunk and they can then cause trouble for other people. Sometimes they drive and they can get into an accident, causing injury, death to themselves or to other people. So this is a kind of activity we don't want to do and to avoid. We want to avoid not to do this type of activity. So if it's a real Buddhist country, then there shouldn't be any liquor store. There shouldn't be any selling of livestock, raising livestock for food, for instance. And everybody will become vegetarians. Ideally, but in real life, it's not like that. Okay.
Yeah, in Canada, it's cannabis, the cannabis store. It's the new latest thing. The you know what it is, Ajahn?
Cannabis or marijuana?
Yeah, I think latest thing it's the cannabis store. It's opening up in so the liquor store is there are lots and lots, and now the latest thing is cannabis store.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
if you use for medicine purposes, okay.
That's
but
what
for pleasure, it's not good.
That's what they say it's used for, but you can't really stop people from recreational.
You have to know how to separate the two.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's medicine, it should be prescribed by a physician. Okay, but for recreation, and this is not the right kind of recreation as far as Buddhist is concerned. The right kind is to meditate.
Right.
Get into meditation better, safer, no side effect, no addiction, no cost either, no money spent.
Ajahn, may I ask you a little about my meditation? Yesterday when I meditate, I suddenly have arm pain, hand pain on the right side, and I use the method of I use your teaching and seeing that it's like weather, I can't control it, and it's gone away, and I mean it didn't go away, but I could ignore it and be peaceful and very nice meditation. When I came out of meditation and it's not. I just ignore it, and then but after a few hours, it came back really painful. Not in meditation, but in everyday life, came out very painful. I use the same method, even though I'm not in meditation. I use the same method of your teaching. That's anatta. I can't control it, and it's like the weather. So I just ignore it. This morning is after waking up, it's gone. I'm just wondering, like, if this is my defilement or it's real. Like,
well, you have to separate the two. See, when you teach your mind that this is like a weather, you're stopping the mental suffering created by the defilement. Okay, but at the same time, you also look at the natural, which comes and goes, the pain of the body, different parts of the body. Sometimes it comes and then sometimes it goes away by itself without having to do any treatment. But sometimes if it persists, then you have to go ask advice from the physician how to deal with it, how to treat it. But your mind will always remain not disturbed by whatever happened to your body. By telling your mind that it's like the weather, it comes and goes. So these are two things. One is the suffering created by your defilement, by wanting to control the body, pain. And once you tell the mind that the body pain is like a weather you cannot control, and your mind then let go of the desire to control the pain. Then the mind becomes calm and not disturbed by the pain. But then you also observe that this pain of the body, sometimes it persists, sometimes it doesn't. So if it continues to persist, then you can try to treat it if it's possible. But if it's not possible, then you just have to accept it. This is going to be the way it is with this body. That's all.
But I remember you saying that sometimes pain is a defilement. So like it comes, but like after the teaching, after I teach my mind, it's gone. So I'm thinking maybe it's defilement, but it might not. It doesn't matter.
Defilement is your desire. Your desire to want the pain to be gone once. When you have this desire and the pain still persists, then you have dukkha, you have bad feeling arising from, because you don't want the pain to continue. See? This is the dukkha created by your defilement, your craving, your desire to get rid of the pain. But once you tell the mind that this pain you cannot get rid of, it's like the weather, then you stop your desire to want to get rid of this pain. Then your mind becomes calm, and you might feel that there is a difference in the level of pain. Actually, it's from the mental part, not from the physical part. Maybe the physical part is always the same, but when you have this desire to get rid of the physical pain, you are actually magnifying it in your mind. So when you stop this desire to get rid of the physical pain, then the magnifying glass stops doing the work. So you feel the pain has subsided. Maybe because it was not that great in the first place, but you magnify from your desire.
I see. Yeah.
So when you stop the defilement, then you stop using the magnifier to magnify the pain. Or the majority of the pain created by the defilement will disappear. And all that is left with just the natural pain of the body.
Yeah, that helps. That clears my doubt. Thank you, Ajahn. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Belinda from Singapore.
Hello, Ajahn.
Any question?
No questions for now.
No question. Okay. Claudia, you're back here again. You want to ask any question? Or not yet? Or you changed your name? That's why you're in a new queue.
Yeah, my husband changed it for me because I'm not enlightened in technical things. So far, I don't have any questions. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Then it's Lillian from Bangkok. Lillian, Malaysian living in Bangkok.
Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have any questions, but I just have a comment about pain. I think a year ago when I first joined this talk, I remember I was telling you that I got really, really bad headaches, and I was counting on really, really heavy painkillers, and I even took antidepressants, but somehow recently I don't need it anymore, and I just take paracetamol, which is the lightest one. It never used to work for me, and I think meditation really helps, at least for me. And so I guess a lot of that headache is probably caused by the kilesas as well. And I do still get it now and then, but I don't get it as often as before, definitely. And life has been a lot better, at least for me, because I used to have headaches a lot. So very happy with the meditation progress in that sense.
Yes, because the majority of your pain arises from your defilement, your desire to get rid of the physical pain.
Yes.
Once you stop that, then the majority of the pain disappear. And if your mind is strong enough and calm enough, you can withstand the physical pain without having to take any painkiller.
Yep. And I actually found that just by not focusing on the pain when you meditate, it actually helps a lot. Like just putto or just focusing on the breath and just ignore the headache. I think that helps a lot as well.
That's right, because then you don't have when you don't give it the attention, then you don't have this desire to get rid of it in the first place.
Yep.
When you have no desire, then there's no dukkha in the mind.
Yep.
Good. You have advanced, you have learned how to deal with dukkha.
Yep. Thank you, Ajahn, for your teachings.
Treat your mental dukkha, but you cannot treat your physical dukkha. You can, but it's better to leave it alone if possible, because if you use painkiller, then you can become addicted to it again.
Yep.
Try not to use it. Just try to learn to live with the pain.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Next, Sammy Riachi. You want to talk, Sammy? Turn up your video. Looks like he's not here.
Hello, Bante, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Go ahead. Got any question?
Yes, I wanted to ask about the 32 body parts.
Mm-hmm.
Are we supposed to like start with the 32 body parts on someone else's body, or does it help also to do for our own body also?
Your body and everybody else's body, they're all the same. You want to treat them all the same. And you're like a medical student, really. That's what studying this 32 parts is about. Try to know what is the composition of the body. See, what you see is only the 5 parts on the outside, but you don't see the other 27 parts, which is hidden under the skin. So you want to study and learn all this part, so that when next time when you look at a body, you see all the 32 parts, not just the 5 parts you see from the outside. This will give you a balanced view of the body. Right now we have a delusional view of the body. We look at the body and we think it's good looking. But if you can see the rest of the body parts, then you say, oh, it's not so good looking. There are parts that are good looking and there are parts that is not good looking. Right? So you want to have a complete picture of your body, everybody's body, in order to stop the sexual desire for the body.
It's interesting that when I do also for my body, it feels like I can't wait to get out of it. It creates like a lot of agitation and like urgency, and like for not only the practice, but like urgency to, get out of it. So I kind of...
That's another desire, is of defilement. See? You study just to want to learn, to know about it, but you don't want to have any
aversion,
desire for, whatever aversion or attraction for it.
Okay.
Normally we have attraction for our body. We love our body. We want to look after our body. We want to keep it good looking. And it can become an obsession for some people and can cause a lot of unnecessary dukkha. But once you see the true picture of the body, then you say, what the heck, what you got a pimple, that's only a very minor problem when you think of the rest of the parts of the body.
Yes, yes,
or a scar or something. Like yes, that last Sunday I was giving my Q&A, and I think Phoebe saw me have a little cut on my forehead.
Yes, I heard that one.
Yeah. was
Yeah,
shaving day for me.
One here and one here. She was worried that it fell down.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's say, okay, I do about 1 hour of yoga practice every day. And I think I mentioned this before, that sometimes I feel even guilty about it, that I might be indulging too much. I mainly do it because I suffer from lower back pain because I sit all day. No matter how much I walk, then the pain will actually increase. So the only thing that helps me is stretching. And yoga is, 1 hour every day, basically, it keeps that lower back pain away. So I was wondering if that you consider that too much indulgence at the body, because
no, not at all, not at all. As long as you consider it to be a medical treatment, the body needs to be protected, looked after, so that it doesn't cause you any problems.
Yeah,
but you can use mindfulness along with it when you do yoga. Stop thinking by focusing on the yoga, or by reciting a mantra or something.
Actually, the yoga that I practice, it's a Buddhist kind of yoga that's coming from Tibet. And every movement that we do, it has either exhale or inhale or holding the breath. So there is no movement without focusing on the breath. So It does feel that when I finish that 1 hour of yoga, I usually continue another hour or so of meditation, because if you feel like so much you want to meditate.
That's good. That's good. Okay, just to come back to the 32 parts, the goal is to memorize these parts until you can, every time you see a body, whether your body or other people's body, you see all these 32 parts.
Does it have to be those specific 32, or because sometimes my mind just goes to like whatever I.
You probably don't see the liquid part, but you can see the organs, the inner organs, the major organs like the heart, lungs, the intestines, the liver, kidneys, for instance. I think this is something, and the skeleton also. This is something that you should be able to see right away when you see a body, regardless of whose body you see, your body or anybody's body. Have it always in the back of your mind, like the multiplication table that you memorize.
So it's better to memorize the Pali words.
Doesn't matter. The point is to be able to see the actual parts. The name doesn't matter. But when you first start, you may have to memorize the name first. Then the next thing is you have to think of the actual part, what it looks like, how it looks like.
This is the first meditation that is taught to the new bhikkhus, right?
Yes, just the 5 parts first, because due to the lack of time in the ordination ceremony, so is only given the 5 parts, but it's presumed that it will be taken up and then follow through with the rest of the other parts of the body. But for most people who are there, they don't understand why. They never use them. It's all just part of the rituals.
Yeah.
But it's actually parts of the Kammatthana, the teaching. Especially for monks or people who keep the 8 precepts or more, because they have to control their sexual desire. And these 32 parts can help control your sexual desire very efficiently.
Yes, it's working very well for me.
So if you can first memorize the 32 parts, then try to visualize each part, and then eventually visualize the whole part. Like like an orchestra, you might learn each instrument by name first. Yeah. And you try to listen to each instrument, the sound, and eventually you want to see the whole orchestra performing. All right.
Tanajan, if you allow me one more question, because I heard that the Prime Minister of Thailand announced that in October he will open the country for tourists. So I was wondering if you can recommend some temple where I can ordain and have the freedom at the same time to leave, because I think that, I don't know about Thailand, but in Myanmar, when you ordain in a certain temple, let's say as a samanera or a bhikkhu, then you have to stay for 5 years. They call that the nisya. So I don't know if in Thailand it's the same.
I think it's the same. The first 5 years you have to usually stay with your upachaya, the person who gave you the ordination. He's your father, so he wants to teach you the trade of becoming a monk. But some upachaya can delegate his duty to some other teacher. So you can talk to the upachaya before you ordain, ask him whether he will allow you to go and live and practice with other teachers. If he say yes, then you can ordain with him. If he insists that you must stay with him for 5 years, then you have to choose a new teacher.
But you cannot recommend a certain place, yeah?
Well, for Westerners or foreigners, usually the main one is the Wat Yannasangwararam, the international monastery where most foreigners go to. Yeah, and then there are small monastery which might have some pockets of Westerner or foreigners living there. So it's something that you have to search for. I know one temple or one monastery that I used to have a German monk living with me. Then after 4 or 5 years, I think he wanted to go back and disrobe. But after he went back for about a year, he returned, and then he found this monastery and ordained there. And he might find it much more conducive for him. Yeah. So.
What's it called?
Oh, I cannot think of the name, but you can ask my assistant.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
He can probably give you the name, and then you might be able to. I heard there are a few foreigners ordained there.
Okay, I would check.
Ask my assistant, Tan Yiwei. He's a Singaporean monk. He's a senior monk now. He's 18 years enrolled. When you write to assistant Ajahn, Suchart, normally...
Your assistant is a monk?
Well, I have several assistants, depends on the question people ask. If they ask about donation, then somebody else will give the reply. If you ask about ordination and things like this, then the monks will reply to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. Next. All right. Paul Westbury, haven't seen you for a while, Paul. Are you still in California? Oh, no, you're in Virginia, right?
Hello, Ajahn. Yes, I'm in Virginia. I've been quite busy with work lately.
Mm-hmm. So, you have any question?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering, I've been quite focused on my work and trying to be focused on the object at hand, whatever I'm doing, try to give it my all. I was wondering, I had a question in regards to the relationship between the object and the observer. So not so much how I'm cooking or cleaning or doing duties, but my relationship to that. Am I having the samma sankappa? Am I letting go, being peaceful? Am I being kind and having some metta and non-ill will towards the object. I was wondering how much that is conducive to reflect on and how much that is more of an obstacle.
If you're still developing mindfulness, it's better not to reflect on anything, just watching what you do, to stop your mind from thinking first.
Okay.
Because when you start to think, then sometimes you can be stray. Your thought can stray to some other thing without knowing it. So you want to, at this stage, to stop thinking entirely and just merely watching, focusing on what you do. So that you will have strong mindfulness to use when you meditate, to get your mind to become calm.
Okay.
And once you have full control on your mind, you can calm at any time. Then you can start teaching the mind toward the objects by looking at them all as anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything that you do is anicca. They are all temporary. No matter how good you do, no matter how well you perform or create or build, one day it's gonna fall apart anyway. Think of it that way. And when you build a home, you fix your car or whatever, no matter how good you do it, it's gonna fall apart sooner or later.
Yeah.
And if you want it to be permanent, then you will have dukkha when it falls apart.
Okay.
But this is later. But first, try to just watch what you do and not let your mind think about anything.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering if so just the watching itself helps to develop the samma sankappa, the right intention. Is that right? Or is that something that we can do on the meditation cushion instead, a little bit easier when we're, just beginning? Maybe on the meditation cushion, we can watch, while we're watching the breath, for instance, we can say, okay, what is my relationship to this breath? Maybe I can dwell in the feeling between me and the breath itself.
No, I would not recommend that. I don't want you to think at all. Not this point anyway. After you can get your mind to jhana, when it becomes completely still, and you can master this practice. Anytime you want, you can enter jhana anytime. Then after that, you can use contemplation, you can use reflection. But as I say, you should reflect only on the three characteristic nature of the things.
Sorry, one more time about that.
If you want to reflect on it, on the object, it's only reflect on the nature, the three characteristic nature of the thing. Being impermanent, being anatta, not under anybody's control. And if you have desire for it to be under your control, you can get dukkha, suffering.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not so important to intentionally or put forth effort towards like a Vyapada and ahimsaka, nekama. Is that something that kind of just comes does it come as a byproduct from watching the object?
I'm not sure what you mean by nekama. You mean being free from sensual desire?
I mean, just to, so for instance, Ajahn Brahm, he will say to make peace, be kind, be gentle. So that seems almost as if there's something to do when observing the object, to maybe add a little bit of peace, add a little bit of gentleness, add a little bit of kindness to the situation. But it seems as if it's better to maybe just focus on the object and not worry so much about the intention.
If you want the ability to stop your mind from thinking, then you should not do any reflection at that point. Because when you meditate, you want to make the mind become completely still, not thinking at all. So, at this point, I wouldn't recommend any reflection. And besides, once you can calm the mind until it gets into jhana, it will have the loving kindness automatically within the mind. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force it. I'll tell it to be loving, be caring or anything. It will be like that automatically once the mind has reached equanimity.
Okay. Yeah. And one other question was when I am at work, I have to work around different groups of people sometimes and things of that sort. And I feel it's not necessarily a natural personality characteristic of mine to be very, very quiet all the time. But when I get into a mindfulness mode, I feel that quietude. But I don't want to have an uncomfortable situation with the people around me. Is this something I should just ignore and don't worry how peaceful I'm being in front of a group of people? Because sometimes I feel as if they may think it's awkward or different or weird, if somebody is practicing like a strong mindfulness in their presence.
Well, you should react to people as required, as social, decorum requires you to do so. But if there's no any requirement, then just keep quiet, just keep still.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to interact with people, then you should interact.
It's hard to find that balance. Yeah.
Well, you just let them start the interaction first, and then you reply, then you respond to the interaction.
Okay.
If they don't, then you just keep quiet, stay calm, and just focus on what you do.
Yeah. No need to reach out to them.
No need to reach out.
Okay.
But as soon as they reach out, then you should respond accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
So the best way to develop mindfulness is to be alone. Then you won't have these issues to worry about.
Yeah.
So you should take some retreats. Go to the retreat sometime. Then you can concentrate on full practice of mindfulness without having to worry about people around you. Because everybody in the retreat doesn't want to interact with anybody anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Like there was a story about this monastery. Lay people see monks coming to sweep the grounds, and every monk just keep concentrating on sweeping the grounds without talking to each other. So they wonder, are these monks mad at each other or something? Because for lay people, you have to, interact, right, with people that work with you. But with monks, we don't interact. We just keep focused on our work. So
yeah,
in the eyes of ordinary people, they think monks are not sociable. They're mad at each other or something. But they're not. They just don't need to do any social interaction. They just keep focusing on what they do.
Yeah, that reminds me of one of my favorite suttas, the Chula Gosinga Sutta, with Nandiya, Kimbya, and Anuruddha. I think they use the sign language to talk when it's necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
This to prevent making any noise to disturb other meditators.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Good to see you. Hope you come back again sometime.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, by the way, have you visited Ajahn Dik's monastery? You're living close to his monastery, isn't it?
I recently got another vehicle, so I hope to, now that I have a vehicle, I hope to go up there a bit more often. I haven't been there in maybe 2 months now. I think I offered Dana about 2 months ago. And it's a little bit difficult without having a personal vehicle. I have to rely on a friend to drive or something of that sort. But now I can visit more often. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope to go very soon.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Sulan from Singapore. Next. Any question?
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn. I'm just joining to listen to your Q&A. Yeah, so that yeah, I feel better. Yeah, been feeling quite tired recently.
Okay. Listen to Dhamma can inspire and energize you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. No question today.
Maybe if I think of question, I can ask you.
Okay. Then let me go to Evie.
Thank
Hi,
you, Ajahn.
Evie from Indonesia.
Namo Buddhaya, Ajahn. Ajahn hear me now?
Yes, very good today. No background noise.
Because I use phone. Ajahn, yesterday I participated the event from Ajahn King. Just like the Ghost Month event, I say. When they after meditation and chanting, I see they pouring a water or sharing merit. Can I do that every day? Because is it useful? If it is useful, I will do pouring water every day, because every day I chanting and meditation. But how to do that?
It is a belief that you can share the merits from your chanting and meditation to the spirit, the people who departed. But according to the Buddha, he only recommended to share the merit from charity, from dana. So that's it.
No, from chanting or meditation.
Because chanting and meditation is more personal, I think. It's something for you alone, for the person who does it. If I can share the merits of meditation, then you don't need to meditate, right? You just wait for my sharing the merit to you.
Because a few weeks ago, actually, I have a dream, yeah, a strange dream. There is a woman. She comes and she standing in front of me, but always give me back to me. So she cries, and I asked, "Hey, why you cry?" She said that she is alone and she likes to follow me lah. Why you give me your back? You turn right lor, turn facing me. She don't want, and she said, my face is so terrible. It's okay lah, you turn lah. And when she turned, I see her face is covered by black cloth lah. And she said that she is passed away 2 weeks ago by COVID, and now she is sad. So I asking, and how are you? And how are you now with your new RAM? Whose RAM lah? She said that she is sad. She missed when she was a human, but it is impossible now. So you are a ghost. I said you are a ghost, and you must have a much of friend ghost ma.
Okay, I think it's enough story for this. You have any other question?
So if this is a really dream now, what can I do for her?
I don't know. You have to ask her when you see her. What do you want from you? What she wants from you?
Actually, when I was a child, I have a dream like this, Ajahn.
Okay, just dream. Don't treat it more like Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta better. Then that solves the problem. Just say it rises and ceases and come and go.
Don't have pouring water for them.
No need to.
No need.
Unless they ask for the water, then you give them the water. If they don't ask you for the water, then you don't need to do anything.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right?
Okay, Ajahn. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Ricardo. Uruguay? Am I right?
Yes.
Uruguay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Yes. Nice to see you again. No question, just to thank you for your panya. And it's very inspiring to hear Dharma from you. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So anybody else that's in the room that likes to ask question but hasn't yet turned on the video? Sulan, you want to ask question? You raise your hand. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Ajahn. I suddenly remember one question. Because from last Wednesday Zoom, I recall that Michael was sharing that there is this sutta called the arrow or the dart. After that, I went to research. Then I found it. After that, I saw in the sutta that there's one that it says the noble disciple, they do not sorrow, grieve, or lament, and doesn't have aversion to painful feelings, etc., and does not seek delight in sensual pleasure, because the instructed noble disciple knows of an escape from painful feelings other than sensual pleasure. So I cannot really understand what it means by escape.
By what?
Yeah, because the sutta says the instructed noble disciple does not seek delight in sensual pleasure when they are being contacted by painful feelings. Then for what reason? Is because the instructed noble disciple knows of an escape from painful feelings other than sensual pleasure. And he understands the origin and the passing away and so on and so forth. But what is the escape that is being referred to here?
What is the asking?
Escape.
Say that word again. Ask what?
It says escape. So it says that
escape.
Yeah. It says that the instructed noble disciples knows of an escape.
No, of an escape from this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't understand. I don't really understand what kind of escape is this referring to?
Escape from the dukkha, see, that can appear when the mind come into contact with things. By knowing how to deal with them, by doing meditation, calming the mind and not reacting to whatever the mind comes into contact with.
Oh, okay. I see.
So when you feel, when your body gets sick, the mind doesn't react to the sickness of the body. When the body is healed from the sickness, the mind doesn't react to the disappearance of the illness either. It remains the same, merely knowing, not feeling happy or feeling sad. So this is how an enlightened person trains the mind, just to remain not being disturbed by whatever events in the mind comes across.
Okay.
Doesn't react. It just remain merely knowing.
Okay.
Doesn't react with aversion or attraction. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It helps.
All right. So you have to meditate, you have to develop mindfulness. Then you will have the ability to remain non-reactive to things when you come across things. You just merely acknowledge, merely know. But you don't have any attraction or aversion for what you come across. Okay. Okay, back to Paul again. Paul, you raise your hand.
Yes, Ajahn. I just had one more question about developing skills in life. And it seems that they are not very compatible with developing skills of the Dhamma. Like we were mentioning, like working on your car, somebody who can become a good car mechanic, or maybe they have good social skills, or maybe they have different skills and they develop them a little bit every day, and maybe they find an interest in that type of thing. I'm wondering how this transfers into Dhamma practice, and maybe this ties into the paramitas.
Yes.
I'm wondering if do we all already have enough parami to become arahants? Because I know the Buddha had perfected all of the parami to become the Sama Sambuddho. And I'm just wondering, is it just about us recognizing that we already have enough parami to develop? We've already developed enough, and now we just need to reflect on the dukkha, anicca, anatta, to end the cycle of
Yes.
being better at this, better and worse, and succeeding and failing.
Yes. Well, if you haven't yet become enlightened, it means you haven't got enough parami yet. You might lack one or two. You might have some other parami fulfilled, but you might lack the last essential parami, which is wisdom. See, for the Buddha, he had accumulated all the other paramis. What was lacking was the wisdom parami. So he first went to seek for advice from other teachers, and they could give him the advice he looked for, which is the Four Noble Truths. So eventually he has to reflect and then contemplate and research until he eventually came up with this truth, the Four Noble Truths. Once he got this, then all his 10 paramis become complete. So he become an enlightened and become a self-enlightened Buddha.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So when some things like maybe being on time every day, just making a determination to be on time for everything we decide to do, or keeping all of our promises pristinely, something as simple as this could be developing one of the parami that may be lacking. Is that right?
Yes. You're developing determination, which is one of the parami called Atithana Parami, resolution. And if you can keep your resolution, then you are developing Sajja Parami, which is truthfulness, being truthful to yourself, not cheating yourself by setting up a resolution and keep breaking it up. So you have to keep your resolution. Once you have set up your resolution, then you must not betray your resolution.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you have the second one, which is called the Sajja Parami. And then if you keep persisting on doing this resolution, then you are developing the Viriya Parami also, the energy or the diligent. But you have to, in order to accomplish something, you have to be diligent. You have to work hard. You have to have effort, put in the effort.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I had an incident at work where I was inquired. They said, "Will you be able to do this?" or they left it up to me to decide that if I need to do this task. They left it up to me, and I told them that I would do it. But then on later reflection, I realized, oh, okay, I was the one who made the statement, so I can say yes or no to this now, after I had already agreed that, you know, I had already made the conclusion.
Yeah. Right. You have committed yourself. So you have to follow through. If you don't want to be lying, not truthful.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of an encounter at work because of that. But it taught me to, even if I'm the one who makes the resolution, I need to stick with my own word. It's not for somebody else's gratification, but for my own.
Yes, truthfulness is very important. You don't want to be lying to yourself. Like people set up New Year resolution and never follow through.
Yeah.
Then they're just lying to themselves. Oh, this year I'm going to stop smoking, and they do it. They stop smoking for 2 days, and then they forgot their resolution already, and they pretend not to remember that they had made up this resolution in the first place.
So
but if you're truthful to yourself, then you will know that you have made yourself a promise. Resolution is like a promise. Once you made a promise, you have to keep your promise.
Okay. So at first we can only do small tasks.
Yeah, set up, promise what you can do. Don't promise more than what you can do, because then you won't be able to do it.
Okay. Yeah. And for somebody who's in a very low state of energy, what are some simple tasks that they could do to go through with, to develop their own confidence and self-esteem as well? Like maybe cooking a meal or something like that. Is that good enough sometime?
Oh, jogging, 1 hour jogging a day, for instance, set up the regimen. Every day you're going to run for 1 hour, something like that.
Yes,
any activities or meditation. Sit and meditate for 1 hour.
Okay. Yeah. It's even better.
But it depends on whether you can do it or not. If it's too hard for you, then you have to find something easier. Like you say, cooking. If you like cooking, then you say, okay, I'm going to cook every day for my family.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's more of sticking strictly to the precept. So I'll start there.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. You're welcome. Anybody else in the room who would like to ask question? Belinda, Belinda first, then we'll go to Willie next.
That is about the 32 parts meditation. I once participated a guided meditation in a monastery, and after the 32 part session, there were very intense aversion towards every single cells of the body, and I realized it's a very strong annihilation, and the mind just observe as is, and then the mind just have it just put the attention back to the body, just observing, and the mind suddenly realized I'm very grateful to the body at the same time, to having a precious life, to practice, to walk at the same time. But after that one session, there was a fear developed, where I was afraid that if I continued looking at the 32 parts, the annihilation part may be amplified. And so then I don't really do that 32 parts because there's underlying fear of annihilation.
It means your mind is not ready for this type of contemplation yet. You need more equanimity. You need more calm before you can do this type of contemplation. So when you know that you cannot do it, don't insist. Wait until your mind becomes stronger. Practice more meditation, get more samadhi, get more jhana, get more equanimity, and then try to come back and contemplate again. If you can contemplate without any reaction, then it's okay. But if you have any reaction, adverse reaction, then you should stop. You shouldn't do it yet.
Yeah. So
do some other contemplation. Do metta contemplation. When you see people contemplate on metta instead of the 32 parts.
So after that episode, I didn't realize metta was helpful at that point, and it helps to soothe the intense aversion towards the body. But I do realize, like at some point for metta, the pitfall can be affection. The pitfall of keeping in metta, that is like some form of, like, if it's not careful, it falls to affection.
Then you have to stop. See, so everything has a limit. Like medicine, you have to know the right amount of medicine to take, not to overdose. When you take too much, it can then have overdosing effect on your body. So you have to watch your mind reaction when you use different types of meditation object to make sure that it doesn't cause you any adverse reaction. All right.
So the key is to have discernment on us changing our method.
From time to time. So sometimes better just to use something neutral like the breath or a mantra like Bhutto, for instance. This won't have any bad effect adverse effect on the mind. That is why this type of contemplation or meditation object is considered more popular than the other objects. Bhutto is very popular among the Thai Buddhists. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Billy, you raise your hand.
Yes, Ajahn. I have a question. How to deal with agitation when feeling hungry? I mean, although I understand that the hunger is in the body, not in the mind, and it is anicca, it is anatta, but sometimes I still feel agitated when I feel hungry.
Usually when you're agitated, it's because you keep thinking about the food you want to eat, right? Thinking of pizza, thinking of hamburgers. So instead of thinking of food in the plate, you should think of the food in the stomach, or food in your mouth. Okay? Every time you're hungry and you think of pizza, don't think of the pizza on the plate. Think of the pizza when it goes into your mouth and being chewed up and mixed with your saliva, and then spit it out to look at it and see whether it's good to eat or not. If you can see the picture, then your hunger will disappear. Your mental hunger will disappear. Your agitation will disappear. And the physical hunger isn't that strong, that overwhelming. So you can live with that physical hunger if you can get rid of your mental hunger by doing loathsomeness contemplation, food loathsomeness. Okay?
Okay.
If you cannot do that, then just recite the mantra Bhutto Bhutto to stop your mind from imagining about food.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Maybe I should go to Facebook now. Do you have any question for Facebook? I don't think so because it's not live. Facebook is not working, right? Or do you have any question for that?
Yes, we have 7 questions from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์
Okay, go ahead.
The first question from Cheleko. Dear Ajahn, it is unwholesome to think too much. Also, if we encounter an issue, we tend to analyze and think of why issue arise and think of solution. So it is not good for our practice. Thank you.
In practicing meditation, you don't want to think. The first step of practice, you want to stop thinking. You want to be able to control your thought. You want to rest your mind in peace and calm and happiness. So at that point, you need to stop thinking. But once you know how to control your thoughts and be able to rest your mind anytime you like, when your mind is not resting, you can think, but you want to direct the mind to think about the true nature of things, which is anicca, dukkha, anatta. So thinking is allowed once you have learned how to calm your mind. But you want to think only about the three characteristics of existence. You don't want to think about any other thing, any other way. Every time you look at money, you say it's impermanent. Every time you look at a person, you say it's impermanent. When you see impermanence in things, then you don't want to have any desire for them. Then you can get rid of your cravings or your desire for things, like sensual pleasure. So sensual pleasure desire depend on money, right? When you think of when you want to have sensual pleasure, you need to have money. Once I have money, then I can go on a holiday. I can go to a movie. I can go buy things I like. But when you think of money as being impermanent, then it can come and go very quickly. Once you run out of money, then it can become dukkha for you when you have no money to spend. So you want to think everything being impermanent, every object of your desire to be impermanent. Then you can stop your desire, your craving, or your desire for those objects. So this is the way how you want to think. On the other side, you can also think in terms of anatta. Things, they are not under your control. Sometimes you want to control your body, but you know you cannot truly control it. Right? The body will keep aging, getting sick, and die. But you still want to control. You want to make the body not old, or you want to keep it young. Then when you cannot do it, then you will have dukkha. So you also have to contemplate on anicca and also on anatta in order to stop your mind from creating desire for those objects. Once you have no desire, then there will be no dukkha, no stress in your mind. So this is the way we Buddhists are taught to think, if we have to think at all. But first, before thinking like this, you need to know how to stop thinking first. Because if you don't know how to stop thinking, you will not be able to direct your mind to think about anicca, dukkha, anatta. Because your mind will always want to think about how good money is, how good that person is, how good that house is, how good that object is. All right. Okay, next.
Next question from Karuna. Good evening, Ajahn. Greeting from Indonesia. Wish you good, Ajahn. I want to ask about how to let go of a toxic relationship with family members. I thought met them is because of karma relation. I think of them as other living beings who are neutral. Is it right to think like this in order to let go of the dukkha? Peace and ubekkha with my mind is more important. Thank you.
Well, just look at them like the weather. You cannot control them. You cannot change them. So look at them like the weather. Then you can leave them alone and accept them for what they are and not trying to change them.
Next question from Poleng Soon. My result of meditation is mindful is very still, very conscious and knowing. When I get out from my meditation, mindful is still strong. Then I watch the body. Is it right?
You can watch anything, as long as you can calm your mind, not agitate your mind. If you want to watch your body, it means you are continuing on with your mindfulness. Keep watching what your body is doing.
Next question from Josh Lim. Dear Ajahn, is Satipatthana and Vipassana the same thing?
Well, Satipatthana is a teaching that teach how to develop Vipassana also. Not just Vipassana, how to develop mindfulness, sati, how to develop samadhi, and also how to develop Vipassana.
Next question from Tony. Ajahn, good evening. Buddha teach everything is impermanent, but why citta is permanent? Thank you.
The citta, he said that everything except the six elements, they are not included in what he said. The 6 elements are the earth element, the fire element, the wind element, the water element, the space element, and the knowing element, which is the citta. These things, they are unchanging. They always remain the same and not disappearing. Other things are made from the combination of the 6 elements, so they are impermanent. Because once they are formed, then eventually they will disappear. They will dissolve and return back to the original element. Like our body, we use the water, the air, the heat, and what else to form the body. But then one day, the element that formed the body wants to return to its original place. So the water, the air leaves the body, the fire leaves the body, the water leaves the body, and all that is left is just the earth element. So everything that is formed will have to be dissolved sooner or later. But those things that is not formed, they are permanent. And they are just the 6 elements that are not formed. They always are. They are. Water is always water. Air is air, or wind is always air or wind. Earth is always earth. Space always space. Mind or knowing element is always knowing element. So this 6 element is not included in the anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Next question from Po Leong Soon. Somebody gets sick seriously. Is it a result of karma? If yes, how to correct and improve the karma? Thank you.
The karma that causes is birth. So stop birth and there would not be any sickness. Stop rebirth or stop birth. Don't take birth. When you take birth, then you will get sickness, aging, sickness, and death.
Next question from Eli Hassan. Ajahn, is any meaning of Sakhawa Gitta? I heard once, but I'm not so sure how to write this word. I'm trying to Googling, but cannot find this word. Thank you.
Well, I cannot help you because I don't know much about Pali words anyway. So I have to skip this question. Is that all?
3 more questions, Ajahn. Next question from Seo Chang. Ajahn, afternoon, listen to Ajahn recording Dhamma talk on body movement. Just now, very mindful, sit for meditation. When we close eyes, even though mindful, the body will a bit sideways due to closing eyes. But I see when Ajahn meditation, body so straight. Am I doing it not correct? Thank you.
You just lose mindfulness. As soon as your mindfulness weakens, then your body can be moving. So you have to bring back your mindfulness. Don't sit without any mindfulness.
The last question from Batan. Pante, is this correct way when other thoughts coming when meditation? And I try to see the thought arise and disappear naturally. but sometimes the thoughts has more powerful until I didn't realize I was follow the thoughts without mindfulness. Please Bhante give any advice how to make my mind mindful without follow the thoughts. Sadhu Bhante.
Just stick to your meditation object. If you're watching the breath, just stay watching the breath. If you cannot watch your breath, then you can use the mantra. Keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then you can bring your mind back from the thoughts. Okay? That's all the question from Facebook. What about in this room? We have a newcomer here. Joko Kumila, you have any question?
Oh, Namaskar Ajahn. I have a question, Ajahn. So I want to ask, is Tiratana, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha only existed in human?
Your sound keep coming on and off. I cannot understand what you're talking about. You have to unmute your microphone.
I repeat again, Ajahn. Okay. Is Tiratana only exists in the Manusa alam Manusa?
Please don't use Pali because I don't understand. I don't understand Pali words, so you have to use English words.
How do you say like in our human being? So it is so Tiratana is not exist in heaven or other realms. Only exists in Manusa realms.
What is what you're talking about?
Is Tiratana only exists in?
What is Tiratana?
Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha.
The triple gem. Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. What happened?
Oh, is it only exists in Manusa realm, not exist in heaven or other realm?
Well, Buddha is a human being, and the Sangha are all human beings. So normally they appear in the human world more than in the other world.
I see, Ajahn. So the
but it's possible that there will be some devas who can become enlightened, like the mother of the Buddha became a Sotapanna. So there can be some triple gem in the deva world, but very little as compared to the human world.
I see, Ajahn. So the other words still can learn Dhamma and get enlightened.
Yes, they can, if they have the right teaching.
Okay, Ajahn. That's my question.
If they have the Buddha or an Arahant to teach them.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Sajal Ka, you just came in. Do you have any question?
No, Tanajan, I don't have any questions. Sorry, I'm late because I have some family responsibilities to attend to.
Okay, no problem. So, anybody? Oh, Evie, raise your hand. Evie, you have question?
Yeah, Ajahn. Ajahn, I want to ask. That the samadhi cannot be expected. If I hope want to samadhi, it cannot be appear. Is that true, Ajahn?
Everything doesn't appear by hope. You have to create it. You have to build it. You have to make it. Money, you can hope for money, but money don't come by hope. You have to earn. You have to work. Same with samadhi. You have to be mindful. You have to meditate.
Yeah, when I want to meditate, I force my mind. I must samadhi.
No, you cannot force your mind. You cannot force your mind. You have to know the method of making samadhi.
That just attention, no samadhi, just attention only.
Attention also needs to be created. You have to tell yourself they have to pay attention to what you do. Then you have attention.
Yeah, Ajahn, A few days ago, when I go to market, there is an old man. He pushed his motorbike and hit me, but not strong lah. And he even scolded me that I am not paying attention to the road. Actually, is he didn't see me. I think he will stop, but he didn't stop. And he hit me and he just so scolded me. But I just quiet and no reaction for him. Is that upeka?
Yeah, yes, that's right. That's ubeka.
That is upeka. Because what makes me didn't scold him is because I think he has 32 part. I have 32 part too, and we are the part of this nature. And he will die one day. I will die one day. So why should I scold back? So I just let him go.
Good.
Is this upeka?
Yeah, ubeka, wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
No self, anatta, just 32 parts.
Yeah.
Colliding with another 32 parts, right?
Yeah. And I want have question again. When I meditate, I see the mind and body is just like water and oil. The mind is above and the body is below. There is a border. And sometimes the have a two of mind. One mind is the mind always watching. I call this is policeman. And two is the monkey mind, who is always making story, making talk, arise, and the police is just watching, and the monkey will shame and he's gone, and arise again the monkey, and the police watching again, he drown again, and finally the monkey no showing again, just the policeman only. And finally I find inside the mind are no core, just the empty. Is that correct, Ajahn?
Yes, space, like empty space, just knowing, just merely knowing.
But I cannot too long for this situation.
You have to do it more often. You have to develop more mindfulness.
Because not enough strong, Ajahn.
Yes, you have to develop stronger, more mindfulness when you're not meditating. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Anybody else would like to ask any question? Ulla.
Okay.
Ulla, okay.
One more question from Po Liang Soon,ท่านอาจารย์. There are delusion and wrong behavior happen when meditation. Can Ajahn give the example? Thank you.
When you meditate, there's no action, it's just watching. Your mind is watching or not watching, that's all. If you're not watching, then you're not mindful. If you're watching, then it means you're mindful. Then if you're mindful, then you'll get the result. You will calm your mind. If you're not mindful, then you don't get the result of meditation. You get restlessness and agitation instead. Okay.
That's all.
Darren from Singapore.
I have a question with regards to right livelihood. So say if let's say company A has are in a different area specialties. One of the areas is sort of like back livelihood, so it sell weapons, sell livestock. But in other areas, it does finance, accounting, and probably some vehicle maintenance. So if a person were to work for that company, but if he or she were to work in the other areas and not in the bad livelihood area, in this is he considered sort of not doing the right livelihood work? Sort of that.
If you somehow can separate the different work that the company do, and you have nothing to do with work that hurt other people, then it's okay.
Oh, so as long as we don't work in the bad livelihood department, is all right.
Yes, yeah, okay. But sometimes they are so interconnected that sometimes it's almost impossible to observe this right livelihood. So sometimes you might need to compromise if you still want to make money, you know. If you don't want to compromise, then you might have to become a monk. Okay, this is the reality of life. You know. And being a lay person is very difficult to practice Dhamma. It's much easier to become a monk to practice Dhamma. Okay. All right. Anybody else? We're almost 2 hours. Okay, I think maybe it's about time for us to. Oh, we have somebody from Japan. When Ravi, do you want to speak or you don't? You haven't turned on. You have to turn on. You have to turn on your video. Can you turn on your video so we can see you? No video. Okay, you want to speak? Unmute your microphone. Venerable Ravi.
Bhante, hello.
Yes, go ahead. Where are you from?
I'm from. From India, but I'm living in Japan, and there is an association, World Buddhist Mission. I have one question that can you give the name of the scripture? Which text is about the meditation that Buddha got the meditation under the Bodhi tree? What is the text where we get the reference?
I don't know. I don't. I usually just listen to my Ajahn and I just take their word for.
Okay, Bhante. Because just I wanted to know in which scripture is the reference that Buddha said, the Gautama Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree. So there is no scripture now. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there is somewhere in the Tripitaka, but you have to search for it.
Okay, no problem, Bhante. Just I wanted to know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not a Tripitaka. I'm not a Tripitaka scholar, so I cannot.
No, sorry. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Very good session, and we will love to join sometime from time to time. It's very good.
Okay, every Tuesday night, once a week, from 8 p.m.
Okay,
so
Ajahn.
It's almost midnight for you now in Japan, so it's almost midnight for you.
Welcome. I can invite you so sometimes.
Okay.
Many monks coming. These are all the monks from Thailand with me in the group. You can
I
see.
see.
In the
Good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming in. Goodbye.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante Ajahn.
All right. We have any more questions?
Yes. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Thank you.
2 more questions from Facebook, Thanachan. First question from Christian. Knowing I'm in anger, burning in the heart, then not follow the anger. Is it mindfulness? Knowing is the wisdom. Thank you.
Well, you can say that, but in practice, you don't want to do it like this. When there is anger, you want to stop it. You don't want to keep your anger continuing by telling yourself that I know anger. This is wisdom. Real wisdom will not allow anger to arise. So if there's anger and knowing anger doesn't mean that you have wisdom. Okay. If you have real wisdom, then you know the cause of anger. So you stop the cause of anger, then there will be no anger arising in your mind. That's real wisdom.
Next question from Hua Chong. If we work in finance department in a company, sell weapons, guns, and bombs, it is still bad livelihood compared to working in a finance department of company selling fruits and vegetables.
Yes. What can you do? If you have to make a living, then if you want to have a real good livelihood, you might have to become a merchant, selling something yourself, selling medicine, selling insurance policy or something like that. But if you work for a big company, it's very difficult to separate all the connections the company has with all the businesses.
2 more questions, ท่านอาจารย์ First question from Eddie Gan. ท่านอาจารย์ if we make false document and submit to the bank, although did not harm anyone, is it considered breaking the precept? Thank
yes,
you.
it's lying. It's not telling the truth.
Last question from Tony. Good evening, Ajahn. Is a Sotapanna must have to practice 8 precepts? Thank you.
No, Sotapanna can keep the 5 precepts, but he's still not. He hasn't yet tried to keep the 8 precepts because he still have this sexual desire. He can be a family person, so he only keeps the 5 precepts. If he wants to move up the higher level, then he has to start keeping the 8 precepts. If he wants to become a Sakidakami or an Anagami, then he will have to abstain from sexual activities.
One more question, ท่านอาจารย์ From Christian. Once notice the anger, greed, then not to follow. It subsides, and it is it correct?
Yes, the goal is to stop following your great hatred and delusion. The goal is not to have them at all in your mind, if it's possible.
That's all, ท่านอาจารย์
Okay. Well, somebody else. Okay, one more question from Evie.
Ajahn, I just remember this morning my uncle he has died, and he died because he has sick and very suffering for many years lah, because of the autoimmune disease. The part of his body broken one by one, I know, and he is passed away this morning. So what can I do for help him to give a good karma for him for the deceased people, Ajahn? What can I do for him?
Do dana, give to charity.
Give to charity and write his name and give to bhikkhu.
You can give to anybody you like. Give to the temple, give to the hospital, give to school. And then once you have given, you have good feeling of giving, then you can share this good feeling to the departed.
Okay. Ajahn, regarding Ajahn explained about that Sotapanna has no sexual desire.
No, he still has sexual desire. He or she still has sexual desire.
How about if people no have sexual desire but only do a duty as a wife or husband, but no sexual desire again? Is regarding is include still do sexual activity lah, but no sexual desire actually. Just do a duty. It's called include sexual desire still has sexual desire.
I don't know. You have to ask yourself that question.
Just do duty because no choice, ma.
You have a choice. You can become a nun. You don't have to live with your husband.
Yeah, that it's still hard to do lah, Ajahn, because have a kid, have a mother, father, and have a family, and
Okay, so So
Yeah.
just do it, but don't try to think that you are so Sakidakami or Anagami yet.
Yeah. So I must wait until my husband die or my father die. So
Maybe after he dies, you might look for a new husband. You can. Then you can say it's for help, so he can help you feed your children and look after your children again. See, your defilement can have many tricks to trick you. Okay, so I'm just doing it as a duty, But actually, deep down inside, it's probably you also like it, right? Or else you wouldn't do it, right? If you don't like it, if you don't enjoy it.
yeah.
Okay. I think we have to end on that note for tonight. Anybody? No more question, huh? Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining this meeting tonight, and I hope you benefit some from this meeting, and I hope you can use it to advance in your practice. So in the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And I'll see you again next week. Goodbye for now.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Thanajan.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, admin.